Hey you guys, what's up? This is Brandon, and this is my review of The Suicide Squad. Now, I didn't really know what to expect going into this movie because I am not a superhero movie type guy. And I understand these aren't superheroes. These are, I guess, villains from other movies of superheroes, like, I know, like Harley Quinn's with the Joker, and there's a foil to Batman, Bloodsport, there's a foil to Superman, and other things like that. So they're villains, but I've never been a huge superhero, supervillain movie type guy. So I've never seen, I haven't seen hardly any of the Marvel movies. I've seen none of the DC movies, hardly. I haven't really got into them. But I did want to see this because it had a good cast. It's got Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, Idris Elba as Bloodsport, John Cena as Peacemaker. You had Michael Rooker in there also, who played on Guardians of the Galaxy, and Merle on The Walking Dead. So you had a pretty good cast, and I was interested in seeing it, and the plot seemed interesting. Basically, it's these band of misfits who are in jail, and they are recruited by Task Force X and dropped off on the island of Corto Maltese to defeat enemies and defeat Project Starfish, which is something that was constructed by the regime that overthrew the government on Corto Maltese, I believe. And from what I've seen, I conflicted on my feelings of this movie. I'm conflicted because I liked it, but I didn't. I liked it, but I didn't. It was funny in some spots. Some spots it was just super weird, and I knew it was going to be weird going into it. It's The Suicide Squad. Well, I just didn't know how weird. I liked the shark in it, the Shark Man. Excuse me. I just had something to eat. I didn't know his name. Really, they didn't say it too awful much. He was okay. John Cena's acting in this. It's weird to see John Cena acting in this because I'm not used to seeing him outside of WWE acting and things. I haven't seen much of his acting outside of WWE except for In the Marine, and those weren't very good movies anyways. But him being in a normal movie outside of WWE, I haven't really seen before. And him as Peacemaker, and Cena dropping F-bombs. It was just weird. It was weird, but all I could really see was John Cena in the movie. I couldn't see Peacemaker. I don't know who Peacemaker is. I don't know the lore of a lot of these characters. But, it was a decent time. But the movie is clunky in its timing. Excuse me. It was clunky in its timing because it would go a lot of action and then it would stop. And then it would slow down. And then be a lot of action, and then it would stop. And then it would slow down. So it's like driving a car. Put full gas and then brake. Then you do full gas and then brake. And then full gas and then brake. And I'm just like, come on. And there was one period in the movie when it was a long period of dialogue, and I'm like, come on, can we please get back to the action? It's like, I'm all for dialogue, but when it's done well, when it adds to the story, when it develops characters more. Maybe it's because I haven't seen these characters before. Maybe it's because I wasn't interested in them, all that much. It did what it tried to do to develop the characters the best it could, I guess. But for someone going into this blind, not knowing a lot about these characters, I was hoping maybe for a little bit more. And the main monster they fight in this, is a gigantic starfish, and I don't want to give too much away. It's a gigantic starfish, and the way it ends, I was just like, huh? And I understand that there's a lady who controls all these rats, but it ended like that. It ended like that with that big battle. The big battle with the giant starfish ended like that. I'm just like, huh? What? Maybe I don't know much about the character. Maybe that's common for the character. Maybe that's how it is, But I'm just, maybe I sound like I'm talking out of my ass, and you guys are like, you don't know what you're talking about. You shouldn't be reviewing this movie. I'm gonna review it. It was funny in some parts. It did get a chuckle out of me in some parts. It was intense in some parts. I liked the final, like the big, huge climax, but I didn't really like the ending to it. I thought no part of it really made me sad or anything like that. No part of it I was like super invested in, except towards maybe a little bit towards the end. But I mean, Idris Elba was in this. He's also one of my favorite actors. I love Idris Elba. Anything that he's in, he did good in this. I liked him. He was one of my favorite characters in the movie. Him and Harley Quinn. Now, they might have a Harley Quinn movie. I'm not too sure, but I'd be up for seeing that because she was really good. I like her character and I like the actress. She was really good as Harley Quinn. So maybe this will start getting me into more superhero movies, and maybe I should watch more. What is a good movie you guys think? A good superhero movie that would be good for me to start off with to possibly get into the MCU or to the DC universe? What do you think is a good starting point? You know, to someone who's blind to all these characters, blind to all the superheroes, to get the lore and everything of these characters going forward. Where do you think I should start? You know, somebody who's a big superhero movie fan or a superhero enthusiast, let me know in the comment section below. But as for the Suicide Squad 2021, I'll give it I'm gonna give it a B minus. I feel like a B minus is fair. It wasn't a fantastic movie, but it wasn't bad. It was good, borderline great. It's like here's good and here's great. It's barely pushing great, but it's still just at the upper echelon of good. So I'm gonna give it a B minus. I think it deserves that. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great at the same time. I did like some of it. I liked some of the characters. I just wish it could have been. It just didn't really grab me like I wanted it to. Some of the action scenes were good. The plot was okay. The ending to that final battle, I didn't like that much, but I'm going to give it a B minus. So if you've seen The Suicide Squad, please let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section below. This is Brandon. Thanks for watching. Peace.